we are here, and when this one happens, definitely it's time to do politics. And politics here, not just politicking, but then providing analysis and insight about politics as it happens in this country. Yes, this program gives you an opportunity just to know what happened in the week, politically speaking. And as a matter of fact, politics affects lives all round, and for this purpose we'll be checking, we'll be ventilating, we'll be diagnosing what actually went on throughout the week. And by doing this, I'll be having here guests who will help us understand exactly where we are and what is happening. Yes, so much has happened from the BBI passage in the county assemblies. We've also had coalitions forming, political coalitions forming. We've also had a lot of hue and cry about the high prices of fuel, and we are seeing so much that is happening within the week. Mukesa Kitui just returned into the country, and some are saying that he's a spoiler. He's come to spoil the party for the big weeks, and therefore he should wait for his time to come. All this, plus many others, will form our discussion today. Therefore, I want to welcome my guest here. I'll start with my guest on my right. He will just give us his name, and then we start off immediately. After that, I'll also welcome my senior here, who will also tell us what his name is before we now set the ship sailing. Yes.
Thank you, Nick, and hello viewers. My name is Gitonga Wathanga. I'm a businessman in Nairobi and an ODM operative for a long time.
In Nairobi still?
Yeah, in Nyeri, mostly in Nyeri and Nairobi. I've been both in Nyeri and Nairobi, and the larger Mount Kenya region.
Thank you very much. Yes, on the left, you have a gentleman here who is not new to the world of media, but again is a pundit.
Yes, I'm Director Marco Witi.
Yes, Marco Witi is the media director of Chemelil Sugar Company, and is also a political operative. And we know so much. It only attracts politicians. Yes, gentlemen, I hope your week was nice, and it's time now to wind up the week by ensuring that we get to know what happened. First things first, Mukesa Kitui came back into this country, and the moment he landed, he pronounced himself as a presidential candidate in the next elections. I don't know what it portends for you guys, what it means for our politics, and can he marshal any serious support as it is right now? Because everybody has a reason. Everybody has an inherent democratic right to declare their candidature for any seat they want. Mr. Gitonga Wathanga, he's come, no party. He's come, I don't know if he's running as an independent. He's come, we've not known so much about him politically. He's been at the UN for 7 good years.
It's welcome that we have Mukesa Kitui back, and also declaring for presidency. It is actually creating a healthier democratic space when you have more candidates. But having said that, I wonder how many Kenyan people knew where Mukesa Kitui was. He was in the UN, but I wonder what percentage of Kenyans, and what did that position of his translate into the Kenyan society? How did it affect the Kenyans, either as a country or a society? So his coming back and his having been in the UN, where I sit, I don't think it has got a lot of mileage politically. And also, when I go back to his political stud there before, he has somebody who has also not been very, very vocal, and he has not taken a stand when it comes to political issues, especially since he went to the UN. So he has been missing in action. And further to that, I remember in the 2000 when most of, say, the Western was leaning towards, I think it was called then, when
NAC. 2000 was NAC.
2000 NAC, but most of the Western and what have you, they were leaning towards
Kenya.
No, 2007 is towards court.
That was called now.
It was called
2007.
Was it called over? Okay. The Raila Odinga coalition. Mukesa Kitui went against the grain, and I think he was elected on PNU. I don't think he was a member
No,
of...
he's never been on Pioneer ticket. He's never been. He's just been on Ford Kenya throughout.
He was on Fort Kenya.
He was on Ford Kenya.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he has actually never really come out really now since, I think, since 92. He has never come out really strongly to support our kingpin.
But he's a celebrated scholar. He's a celebrated young tanker, a hero of the second liberation. And I think these are credentials enough to even make Muhisa Kitui a potential candidate for presidency. What's your thoughts?
Thank you, Nick. And to all our viewers, good evening. I really think it's a good time again to talk to our audience and share a bit of what has happened in the week. And you've talked about the arrival of Muhisa Kitui to challenge for the top seat in this country. Yeah. I think maybe he's come in a style because he knows Kenyans forget easily. But before he became, an employee or a head of UNCTAD, because that's where he was, the UN, the trade section, he was the former MP of Kimilili. Yeah. And he had just lost that seat.
To Honorable Dr. Simiu
Eseli. So the people of Kimilili had already rejected him. But I think he now knows Kenyans have forgotten. Right? To mean that in Kenya we are not short of candidates. And I'd want to agree with what Gitonka has said, that we have not seen the impact of Muhisa Kitui at UNCTAD towards Kenyan business that has been announced by the president that we have benefited out of this and this and this from UNCTAD, apart from the conference that was held here in once, right? So he has been out and people forgot about him. In fact, from Western, if Oparanya would declare his candidature for the presidency, there would be more relevance. Yes, there would be more relevance of such a candidature than Muhisa Kitui. But it is his democratic right, and Kenyans would need just to embrace him, like we embraced Dida, we embraced Ole Kiapi, and he's one of our own sons.
No, but you're not even telling me what I want to hear. My question is, the fact that he's been away is no problem. We know people who've returned and become presidents in their own country. We know people who've stepped out of jails and they've become presidents in their own country. By Muhisa Kitui coming simply because he was doing a good job at the UN and now asking us for our votes to make him a president doesn't mean that he's not able. And because he lost the Kimilili seat alone...
Actually, we have told you what you are supposed to hear, Nick. We have just said,
are you painting
we
him
don't know...
as a lame duck presidential candidate, or he's not even supposed to run?
His candidature would have been buttressed by his achievements to Kenyans at that international position. And we are saying we don't know, unless you know.
But it's not Kenya's even as a trade minister. Why can't you give him that as also another accolade? Because he performed exemplarily when he was
how do you know that? How did there are so many other Kenyans who have served as cabinet ministers that they have done very, very well. For instance, the current minister of health, Mutahi Kagwe, was credited with transforming the ICT sector in this country. But he also went ahead and they lost his constituency position, in Mukurweini. And but that still, having been a good minister, does not necessarily translate him to be a good presidential candidate.
Then what, in your opinion, do people want as Kenyans to be the credits for a presidential material?
The problem we have in this country for a fact, as much as we might want to deny that, is that Kenyans really want to go with the known people. All right, they want to go with the people they know. They might normally you hear them saying, "No, we want new people," but when the rubber meets the road, unajua sasa hiyo witi sasa hatukujui hatujui sasa hiyo ukitati ni kitu gani sasa atutusaidia nini?
The Kenyan silently also endorse bad elements.
So this person, you know, whether it's not a material that is supposed to be campaigning as a president, it's okay because tunamjua Mukhisa Kitui is good, but alikuwa somewhere in...
Now, where that is also a subject of debate, what you mean by good, what I mean by good. Personally, if you ask me, I know Nani is not a good team player, right? Mukhisa. And if he borders more on the arrogant side, you know, so I don't, and that diminishes a lot of his other good qualities. Because especially now when you're talking about now for political seat, you also want to incorporate other views. It reminds me of our good friend Miguna, all right, who does not, somebody who is generally also very, very good and capable, but he's kind of
very combative.
Yes, combative and for lack of a better one, full of himself.
I think just to support what he's saying, Mukhisa Kitui, before he lost his last parliamentary seat, he used to dance for people in the podium.
Yeah, and I think he was the lead.
Yes. And when people reminded him that he should actually continue dancing, he told them that, I was dancing because I was looking for the parliamentary seat of Kimilili. But because I got it, I don't have to dance again.
I'm a cabinet minister.
Yes.
Okay, I mean, where that one falls, I don't know, but truly, we are looking at...
But the point is, we are not short of presidential candidates in Kenya. He can come, launch himself. Gatanga can go and announce tomorrow. He has got a lot of credentials. Oparanya have done it. Joho has done it. So Mukhisa coming is not unique.
So he's just getting into the fray of the very
exactly.
contenders.
He's very much welcome.
Well, from Mukhisa's own admission, he said that he's not leaning on any side, whether Tanga or Kieleweke or whatever it is. In fact, by his own admission, he didn't even know what BBI is all about. So it's a crazy time for him. He really has got to take some time to understand exactly what it is and play catch up to matters that are politically currently going on in Kenya. Now,
he's been out of touch. So you have been that much out of touch. So I think he loses credibility. How you could be...
if you
for a presidential position.
But 18 months to the elections, he can do catch up and become just a very formidable candidate again. I don't know.
But when you already come and say that you don't subscribe to any ideology that is ongoing, you already have self-alienated. So even when you play catch-up, will you disown or take back some of the words that you said?
Not
because already you... Exactly. So the more you do that, the more you catch up, the more you find yourself so isolated.
Honorable Mukhisa Kitui, Daktari, you've been informed in no uncertain terms that indeed you've just come. It's never too late again, they say, in life. You might catch up, yes, but now you know what your candidature means in no uncertain terms. Yes, gentlemen, switching off from that and getting into the BBI train. It is now a frenzy across the country. It is public participations here. It is debate in county assemblies there. It is the passage here. It is the reporting. It is the rejection. So BBI is actually renting the political space right now at the county assemblies. Yes, up to now I can mention up to about are they 11 or so counties that actually right now have done it. I can count on Siaya, Homa Bay, Kisumu, Busia, West Pokot, Trans Nzoia, Kajiado, Kisii, Vihiga, Nairobi, and ultimately Laikipia, who this week have endorsed BBI. Of course, we can't forget to mention Baringo, who said no to BBI. As it is, from the trend of things, is it gonna get to 24 counties next week, or are we having any chance of having the 24 counties to now usher the country into a referendum?
Actually, BBI was not going to be a problem at the county assembly level. It wasn't, because as well the county assembly members, at least they are aware the difficulties they have been. They have faced implementing their mandate at the county government. So, and when BBI is proposing that they have more money at the county level, when it is proposing, there's also other goodies for the MCAs. For instance, it provides that now a sitting MCA can vie for another seat for parliamentary. You know, at the moment, the Constitution provides that the MCA wants to vie, then he has to resign first before he goes for the parliamentary seat. So it was going to, it meant that the MCAs were going to resign like 6 months before they could. So it was naturally going to pass at the county assembly level. And I really can't understand the thinking behind those county assemblies that rejected it. I have no idea why would you do that.
So far it's only one. It's only Baringo
that
has officially shown a rejection to BBI.
Because in it,
the subject of investigation by the EACC. My thinking is BBI, the way it has been packaged and presented, actually is going to pass. Could have even passed by all the 47 counties. I don't see any county rejecting BBI. Simply because it's like it favors everybody. It favors the MCS. It favors the wananchi. Why? Because there's devolution of more funds and more functions. You know, when you devolve funds and you devolve more functions, it means that you have created employment automatically at the grassroots. When you create employment, you also create businesses. So it's very friendly. I don't only anticipate that the other counties are going to pass BBI, but even at the referendum, it is going to be passed by the people.
Yes. Majority of Kenyans are going to support BBI.
People are going to support BBI. The only situation that we might assume now and might not be correct is that BBI might not be used for 2022 political, endgame. People have separated politics and the BBI.
And generally, the reason why it is it will not be a lot of politics because there are not really a lot of contentious issues. They are not. Because as Mr. Witty said, there is something for everybody. However, where I sit, as much as I really support BBI, there is this issue of the membership of parliament, the increased numbers. The way they went about it is a bit untidy. It was very simplistic. That to achieve the 2/3 gender rule, it's only a matter of topping up. I think anybody could have done that. So you're wondering. These are, I think, how many is a committee of of experts of the commission that went around the country for 2 years, and the only cure they came up with that. All right, let's top up. If there are not enough women, let's bring more women. Seriously, it's lazy.
So you think that
it's lazy.
You think that admission doesn't warrant an expert's input?
Anybody could have done that. You do not have to do that. It is lazy. It reflects that the mentality of somebody really who does not really have the commitment.
But then, Mr. Gitonga, for years and years we've been trying to have this gender, the two-third gender role. At least done as a legislation in parliament. It's flopped.
Yes, because
and again until Maraga came out.
Yes.
And told guys,
because
if you don't implement this thing, then you wind up parliament.
Okay, fine. Because there has been no commitment. There's been no commitment on the leadership. There was this idea that had been floated that also could have solved a lot of our other political issues. How to bring the gender balance in parliament and also equal representation instead of just adding the something known as proportional representation. If they had just done that proportional representation,
what did it entail?
Proportional representation entails that we are working with 290 seats of parliament, all right, and we have 20 million votes, all right? So 20 million votes, we divide by 290. So we allocate, we say like 135 votes, or 150 votes, okay, will form a constituency, all right? So the party the party now that it gets enough many votes, say for instance now, Jubilee gets about 15 million. So we divide it by 150,000. So it will work out, Jubilee gets about 100 seats. So Jubilee now distributes those 100 seats to the members, not necessarily to single member constituencies, but to members. So Jubilee gets 100 seats, ODM gets about maybe 60 seats, and so the number will remain. So then now the people they nominate, then they will have met the gender equality.
So it goes back to the political parties to now square it.
Yes.
And don't bother electorates or voters with the aspect of pumping people into parliament because they are women or men.
Yes.
Okay. In fact, that is what Rwanda do. Their model of politics is such that the constituencies are looked at as a national seat.
Yes. Yes.
You get it? And when Rwandans go to elections, they don't vote individual leaders.
Vote for the party.
The party is mandated by the commission, the electoral commission, to submit prior to the election a list of 290 potential members of parliament. Every political party that goes for election submits 290 members of parliament. In Kenya, we would have done 290 for every political party. We would do 47 for all governors. We would do 47 for all senators. We would do even for the respective MCS. 1,450 something.
1,500 right now.
MCS. Yeah. You submit all those positions. Then everybody in the list. Now the party can now decide to see how to occupy those seats. But if there's alternating gender on the list, then every person goes to the electorate and campaign for the party manifesto. When voting is done for the party, not the individuals. And then if you get 30% of the votes cast, then it means you have 30% of all the seats in parliament.
So it's proportional to their votes cast?
Yes, yes.
But where were you guys? You didn't go to Haji's commission?
No.
Let me tell you.
You guys didn't talk about this?
No.
I mean,
The issue of...
You are now castigating the report.
No, we did.
And you are in this
No, those are presentations we made. We made them.
Let me tell you.
The meeting that the committee of experts ignored your very fundamental...
Until even the chairman died the other day, and God rest his soul in peace, Senator Yusuf Haji, people even said that even Haji himself, the chairman, was not in agreement with the content of the BBI. It did not capture everybody's aspirations. But the good thing, before we lose that argument, is that if we could go on that proportional representation and not elect the individuals,
yes,
then we will have solved a lot of problems. Even the patronage.
Yes.
And ODM can even say, for example, if they have 50% of the votes, and so they have 24 governors, they can even say Amason Kingi, who is a member of the party and a governor on the list, is seconded to Homa Bay County,
yes,
to go and become the governor of Homa Bay. So there is no patronage, there is no burden. He's going there to execute the party manifesto when it comes to social democracy and utilization of the funds. Anyang' Nyong'o will actually be in Machakos.
And there will be no voter bribery.
Exactly. And no patronage. Nobody will come to your house, Governor, mimi ndo nilikupigia kura, nini. So you will be able to execute. And then, even the 24 governors, 12 will be women. The other 12 will. Yeah. So you sort out the issue of gender without expanding elective seats. And that will really bring down the cost of running our political offices.
I was saying these things and it sounds like now it's again too late to catch up.
It's
because I don't think if Kenyans gave a proposal like that to the Haji Commission, really, they would have come up with what you say.
They would. They would. You know, I mean, the beneficiary...
And as
before we break.
We're just going for the break. Let me accord you less than a minute.
Now, when you talk about giving presentations, I made a point of sending an email every day, all right, for 27 days to the
Haji Commission.
Yes. And I never got even a single reply.
Just to cap it up, in Rwanda, still Rwanda as my example, a member of parliament dies and there is no by-election. The next person on the list that was submitted by a commission, exactly. A member of parliament becomes a CS or appointed a minister. You don't go for by-election, or you just pick on the next on the list.
Well thought out plans here, and I don't know why that didn't find its way into the report, because then it sounds so good. So you accuse them of bias.
No.
Or perhaps this thought was not very popular with the masses. Maybe other Kenyans.
Nick, my point is,
yes,
there's no way we can be aware.
Hold on, Mr. Witty. I want to cut you short because we must get to this break. Oh my God. Just imagine if we had that. There would be no acrimony. There would be no political madness that accompanies our elections every now and then. There would be every reason for us to now say a handshake actually cured all these animosities that we get every 5 years into the electioneering period. Now, when you come back, don't also forget that Deputy President William Ruto was not in the cabinet meeting. That's whether it was a cabinet meeting or just an informal cabinet meeting, still not clear why the Deputy President was not part of it. And he forms, with him and the President and the ministers, they form the cabinet. Was his missing strategic? Was he just not invited? Is there anything that cooks that we cannot smell as at now? Yes, don't go away. It's the Cardinal Talk Show. Yes, welcome once again, viewer. If you're joining right now, we also want to invite your thoughts. We want to invite your reactions into this. We know we're just from the break, and there's so much that these guys are really making me sometimes wonder and laugh at the same time. You know, now you can join into the conversation through our hashtag Cardinal Talk Show on Lolwe TV. Twitter handle is at Lolwe TV. Our Facebook page is Lolwe TV. Or altogether, you can use my Twitter handle, that is at Okello7. All those are platforms for communication, and we can always get along with you. Join into the conversation right away. And we were just concluding on this two-third gender role. It's been so sticky, sometimes very murky. You call it now pedestrian. You guys were here, nothing happened. You sent like how many emails?
27 continuously.
Every single day.
Every single day.
That was a good effort. But kind of somebody went and sat down and decided now that it's gonna be like they come.
Maybe one day, what is the name of the chairman? Adam Solo. Maybe one of these fine days, because he's a very respected gentleman and an academician. He's and also somebody who has also fought for democratic space and human rights. Maybe one day he'll give us an insight as to why they came up with such I would say
a lazy approach.
It's a petty idea.
I think politically, you don't mix politics with academics. Sometimes you're also supposed to act very stupidly as an academician because you are supposed to defend some political interests. Yeah. So I think maybe because Adams Olo is privy to what we are talking about with and even all our political leaders. What I know is that a lot of interests are also going to be killed, especially at the party level with their patronage, when we adopt a more patriotic position, which ultimately is more beneficial to Kenyans. So at least here, we all can also say that political parties are also playing their supporters.
Well, I know we can't belabor that fact so much. We now leave it to the county assemblies to complete the process of, debate and therefore either pass or reject at that level. If there's a referendum, we are expecting that exercise to be carried on sometimes in the next few months to come. However, it's time to switch on again and look at why the DP did not attend the cabinet meeting. Under the constitution, DP is an integral part of a cabinet decision. His office can't just be wished away. In this instance, it's very clear that he wasn't invited into this. Mr. Gitonga Walanga, are we finding a Jubilee party that has sunk so deep, it's now affecting even the cabinet decisions? And cabinet decisions are policy decisions that drive the country, and we cannot now take party matters right into the heart of a cabinet meeting. Why do you think this is now happening at this moment?
Personally, I think Kenyans at large do not really know what is the quorum of cabinet. So it does not really, I don't think it really affects the decision making of the cabinet, if at all there is any. As Kenyans where we are, Kenyans really don't know when cabinet meets, and they don't even, I don't think they even care. Because
personally, do you care?
Not really, because there has not.
You are saying on national TV that you don't care whether the cabinet meets to talk about matters that affect your life.
No, because we really don't know. We have not really come up in this Jubilee administration, or even do I dare say even the Kibaki administration. We have not really come up. We have not really had decisions that have been really been made at so by cabinet. What we have been dealing with as a country, decisions largely made by the roadside by the president. So what the cabinet mostly and usually does, and I think always does, they only go to endorse. So in this instance, I think probably that the DP, that he has got this new idea, and probably he sold it to cabinet, and probably the cabinet didn't buy the wheelbarrow narrative, so he found it unnecessary. He might have found it unnecessary to attend.
I think the is making cheap.
He's making. I mean, how would he be selling the wheelbarrow in the cabinet?
But if
it's not a policy of the government.
But why not? But that is what selling. If that is what is in government, that is what he is selling nationally.
I think.
So if he's selling it nationally, it follows. He might have probably wanting to push it through government.
Let me fashion it in a better way. He says that DP seems to have other orientations in his thoughts. That the president or the cabinet feels his inclusion might not be of any necessity at this point.
Well, we don't know because we don't hold brief for the DP. But my point is...
But are you buying the same idea he's talking about? Is that DP is currently is preoccupied with other things that perhaps are not going in line with what the cabinet is discussing?
I don't think so. My thinking is, or my which is an open thing, is that what the kind of setup that we have now in this country is that of an executive presidency. Okay. Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is an executive president of this country.
That is known by everybody.
That is known by everybody, yeah. And so he does not require the deputy president to sit in a cabinet. No, just listen.
It's the presidency, sir. It's the presidency.
No.
The deputy is the presidency.
There are no two pens on that table. There is only one executive pen.
Is there presidency in the constitution?
Yeah, there's a presidency. In the office. When you talk about, in the constitution, there is the president, and then there's office.
Nick, you asked me. Okay. So I'm giving you an opinion.
Let me,
and my opinion holds.
Yeah.
Because there is nowhere that a cabinet meeting will sit, and then the deputy president ratifies the decisions made in that cabinet. It is the president only who ratifies decisions by cabinet. There's only one executive pen in this country.
So it doesn't matter whether it's there or not?
It doesn't matter whether it's there or not. And actually it's the presidency, the president himself, not the presidency, the president that even that assigns duties. When he says, take this role, take this role, take this role, and hand it over to this ministry, then that is what happens.
Okay, Marco Witi, just on you still, what then does it create as an impression when something like this happens in a cabinet? Doesn't it just give us a feeling of disunity? And this disunity is also affecting this. And remember, these cabinet ministers were appointed both by the DP and the president. Yes, the DP actually proposed, the president appointed.
Yes.
So his interest as well is scattered for in the cabinet.
Yes.
We can't wish that away.
Yes, we can't. But you see, these are guys who are very good friends. But we have seen their public disparage of one another. We have seen the president attack his deputy openly, told him to resign. He has even said that he will not hand over power to thieves. And there's a narrative of who the big thief is in this country. So Kenyans conclude these things for themselves.
So guys are thieving on the other end of politics, because when the DP, when the president says he can't hand over power to thieves, those thieves are perceived to be some people within his government.
Exactly.
And he's the head of the government.
Exactly.
So
it is politics. No, it is politics, because you cannot steal from the executive or from the ministry or from the treasury when the president has not endorsed. There's only one pen in this country, the executive pen. If there's thievery in Kenya government, then the president is held accountable. So
you say they are joined at the hip.
They are joined at the hip.
It doesn't matter who
yes.
steals.
The DP is also on record saying that he respects his boss, even when he reallocates some of what would have been his own roles in that office to other officers.
To Matiang'i, of course. Cabinet Minister Matiang'i.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which is possible by the presidency. And that's why people say, if there's anything that does not go right in this country, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta must be held solely accountable.
Well, Uhuru Kenyatta, back to you, Your Excellency. It seems it's again on your executive whims that you decide who comes into your cabinet meeting. So funny. Yes, I know it's our provision in our law or constitution that the cabinet meets at least quite often. And then the composition of the cabinet is well spelled out in the constitution as well. However, we leave that for another day and see what happens. Yes, we are jumping into a very interesting political development that actually happened this week. And it happened in Western Kenya, where we saw an emergence of a coalition of parties. Wiper Democratic Movement, Man National Congress, Ford Kenya, and KANU went out, and by look of things, would be interpreted to mean a coalition in the making. This coalition in the making, if you look at it, Gideon Moi was with the Jubilee side in the last elections. Then we have Mudavadi, Wetangula, and Kalonzo, who are on the NASA side. Now they've found a common interest and a common ground to do politics. They were doing their campaigns in Matungu and Kabuchai in Western Kenya. And then something slipped off, like a coalition in the making. Mr. Itonga Wadhanga, are we seeing a formidable force coming out here? And are we seeing a Raila Odinga that has been left by his allies?
That's a very, very good question, and I pondered on that issue this week. Initially, I didn't give much thought to it, and so many other people as well didn't. I've listened to political leaders, especially from ODM, like Tedo Moro on the media, and they dismissed that coalition, and. Piece by piece, like for instance, they said somebody like Kalonzo has got even bigger problems in Okabani with Mutua and with Kibwana. Nani could not even get a seat. He's got problems with Paranya huko, sijui Muhisa Kitui, Nani, I don't know. But the point is NASA was strong because we also they had a common agenda, for instance. It brought like-minded people, and it is an agenda that leaders sold, and it is sold not because of the tribe of these people, but they are respected, and they had a message that was selling, and. When we were talking, last time when we were talking about Kalonzo being a candidate, he was dismissed, and he was dismissed outright, and he was saying Kalonzo doesn't have the muscle to mount a presidential campaign, and meaning he doesn't have the resources. Now here comes Kalonzo, comes Mudavadi, then There is this guy with a lot of our money, known as Gideon.
A lot of your money or his money?
Yes, he's got a lot of our national money.
How?
That is a debate.
You can't be left.
That is a debate for another day. That
having
is
your money.
Yeah, that is okay. Yeah, having more money. That is okay.
With due respect, you've got to just.
Okay. If you want to believe it, it is money. Fine. He has got a lot of money. Fine.
Yeah.
Yes. If you want to believe.
Not our money.
Yeah.
He's got money, but not.
Yeah. If you want to believe it's money, fine. He's got a lot of his money. But now that changes a lot. That changes the equation. It changes the equation because now Kalonzo, as a presidential candidate, say so to speak, and with say Mudavadi being a running mate, it means that Kalonzo will not have opposition in Yukabalad. And he has got a basket of a good basket. He's got at least 1.5 million votes to start with. Then backed by Musalia. Musalia will also get a very big chunk in Western when he's running as a running mate to also a good candidate. Kalonzo also has got a potential of going down to the coast, the Taita and what have you, all right? Because they are really close. The coalition can Mudavadi and Gideon. They can capture about 50% of the Nairobi vote, right? Kalonzo by himself, he'll capture quite a big chunk of the Mount Kenya vote against Ruto, against Raila. What am I saying? What I'm saying is, all right? Even the media has dismissed them as non-starters, but where I sit, it will be a very strong opposition and a very strong coalition. And why? Why does it become a strong coalition? And as you asked me, has Raila been left by his allies? Precisely, yes. And why has been left by his allies? Because Raila has got, Baba, for that matter, has got the habit of ignoring, okay, or taking for granted his supporters. For instance, now, I don't want to believe, I'm not convinced that when we boycotted the elections, that they sat and decided with Kalonzo there and Wetangula. Methinks he sat with Orengo there, maybe a young Nyong'o and Otiede Omoro, and they told us to boycott elections. And we were waiting for the big thing when we boycott elections. Yeah. Kube, there is nothing. So these guys, they are like, okay, fine, we are here, we are coalition partners, all right? We are bringing in our vote. You don't respect that. And when you're making the same decisions, the major decisions, you don't need us. So for that matter, okay, we cannot work with you. And we have seen, and there are many occasions. For instance, of late, Agwambo Baba has been choosing to work with Kibwana, Giru, Mutua, ignoring Kalonzo. So that's essentially what it means. Baba is kind of isolated, and now he has to go to look for other new allies.
Mr. Makovich, I want to bring you into this. Quite an interesting development of sorts here. Like he says, he's looked and he's analyzed oppositions of strength for this coalition. Are you in agreement with the fact that they would mount a considerable challenge to Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto?
Even before we go to that, I really think it's a very sorry state that the group that what the guy is saying is like he's been working for the deep state. That must be what Gitonga is saying. He is working for the deep state.
Which deep state are you talking about?
The deep state that has proposed that type of coalition.
So
the coalition of Kalonzo Musyoka.
The brain behind the Kalonzo axis, Kalonzo Mudavadi axis.
Actually, the way Kalonzo Musyoka announced their coalition, it is like they had been sent to go and make that announcement by the state. And I would not be surprised.
Are you insinuating he's part of the state?
I don't know. You know, here we are in the same. Here we are in the.
Not unless he tells me.
You know.
Okay, carry on.
But he is not far from the truth that the supporters of Baba, that they are now pulling or pushing the BBI process together, have already embarked out of that ship and have punctured the ship. This ship is sinking with Baba. And that is very painful. Because Baba, I remember when he met people from his backyard, he said, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta will never betray him.
On what?
I mean, I'm betraying on BBI?
Maybe on BBI.
I don't know whether it was BBI or whatever. But you see...
I think they have never talked about 2022.
You know, Gitonga comes from Mount Kenya region. And Mount Kenya is a very dangerous group.
Dangerous to you
politically. Because these guys, actually, it's good to know and let our audience realize that BBI actually has originated from Mount Kenya. It is not Baba's thing. Baba is just pushing it because of the particular interest it has in devolution.
Facts will remain facts in this show.
Yeah.
BBI was born out of the handshake between Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga.
So who invited the handshake? Whoever invited the...
Who is an insider of ODM doesn't know.
We don't know, but someone else, and I can now for sure tell who made the first phone call to the other. It must have been Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta.
Okay, now...
He's the one who must have called Raila Odinga and said, let's negotiate.
We don't know that. It's your thought.
Because BBI, they knew, the people from Mount Kenya region were fully aware that they are not going to control the executive powers of this country once again. So they decided they have to dilute it.
Makawiti, let's not digress so much from the
we're
discussing.
Because they know they have achieved with the BBI, because BBI is going to pass, now they are coming up with their candidate. The candidate that the state is going to sponsor is going to coalesce around Kalonzo, is going to coalesce around Gideon Moi, is going to coalesce around Mudavadi and Wetangula. Of course, yeah. But one thing that they must know. Once you disenfranchise Agwambo, all these Kenyan politicians are neophytes. If you ignore Agwambo, and what Gatanga is saying that he has ignored his friends and what, don't really think you can finish Raila on the ground when it comes to politics. He can make any coalition with anybody, and because he stands for what Kenya wants, that is what makes Raila go. He stands for what Kenya wants, and when he will once again say that we are still fighting for liberation, he will form his own team, and it doesn't matter whether this team of Kalonzo, Gideon, and they don't even have personality, they don't have charisma. Once they ignore Raila and they ignore the hustler William Ruto, we are going to witness a very interesting campaign towards 2022.
I'll remind you.
Because of time, really, I just a minute and we conclude.
I'll be concluding.
Yeah, I know it's...
No, but I'll remind you. Let me remind you. Before I remind you, Kebake had no charisma. Okay? And we elected him over what a minute. Okay? Well, that is also debatable. When you say Raila has got capacity to build coalitions with anybody, the question now is who? Who now? Unless he picks Oparanya, or he goes down and picks Joho. Okay, Joho is probably a so-called type of person, doesn't bring much to the table. And the thing is,
Raila will not build his coalition around individuals.
Well,
he will build it around a mission.
That is ideally.
And he will put a team to lead that mission.
Ideally. Yeah. But before we were saying, and that is where now they need to sit back, they need to strategize. Because Baba, last time we are saying he had one bullet. All right? This time,
he shot it.
He doesn't even have a gun.
Oh, well. So Baba doesn't even have a gun.
Baba could have had one bullet.
Yeah. He shot it?
but now has a sling with stones.
So a bullet and a sling is even weaker now than he was.
He's not weaker.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Let's not by any chance dismiss Raila Amolo Odinga. Actually, it will serve the interest of either Raila Amolo Odinga or William Samoei Ruto. With this new coalition that the state might sponsor, Raila and Ruto have a head start.
And a coalition maybe.
That one will kill anyone. If Raila joins with William Samoei Ruto, Kwisha. I just don't know whether they have reached some level where they cannot sit and talk.
For free?
Yeah.
One thing is, Ruto is banking on the Mount Kenya votes. And why he has the Mount Kenya vote now is because the Mount Kenya vote for Ruto is not for Ruto, is Raila. So the moment Ruto now joins hands with the Raila, he becomes a Mount Kenya vote. So he will be left with the Kalenjin vote and the Nyanza vote. Then the rest will coalesce around Kalonzo, yes.
Well, gentlemen,
That's what I'm saying. Nani,
gentlemen, we have to come
Baba,
to an end.
Baba is left, zero option.
We have to come to an end of this, really. I know it's such an interesting topic, and it's bringing about every bit and pieces of politics as it is. Yes, Raila, unexposed Raila, they say sometimes, is very lethal. And again, Raila here is somebody who they say lets off his allies as soon as he gets them. That would be playing against his own strategy. How do you think this will go this time around? Because already, William Ruto is on this side, Mudavadi, Kalonzo is on this side, Raila in the middle, Uhuru seems to be nowhere, or Uhuru must be somewhere, I don't know. But then that is a point and for further discussions. Okay, you're just in less than 5 seconds. What act captured your imagination over the week?
Well,
my director is killing me.
Mine is that I still that coalition, and I think it's better now that we start also preparing. We start, we as ODM supporters and the Baba supporters, we start managing our expectations, because now it's not business as usual. And now unajua tunasemaga mtu amefika saa ingine mtu amefika mwisho wa reli. I think Baba is kind of now in where I sit, it's like left with no options. It's like end of the road.
You say he's carrying a sling, not even a bullet.
I think Baba, you count out Baba in Kenyan politics, you are a fool. And I want categorically say, Baba, if whatever it only remains that Gatanga said that is important, maybe he only needs to reshuffle the team around him. Only. Kama ni Orengo na Nyongo ndio wamechoka, he needs to revamp that team, because anybody playing Baba is playing against Kenyans.
Well, it can't be said better. It can't be said boldly. It can't come out in more uncertain terms than is happening in this very show. You've had it. It's now your time to also go analyze the feel, but keep communicating with us. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for having come. You've done us so proud. The debate has been so juicy, and in fact, it's so informative as well. So next week, when you're called upon, kindly just find time to come. Help these guys, our very wonderful viewers, understand more and more of politics. Yes, I've been your host, Nick Okello, and I believe next week we'll make a date the same time. It is only on Cardinal Talk that you will get this one the way you hear it. No bullet, no gun, just a sling.
Thank you for having us.
That's a very good shot. And I say goodbye and have yourselves a lovely week ahead. Thank you very much.